Well, I think a lot of the challenges with biosimilars weren't necessarily related to the regulatory process. I think certainly trying to make it, lower cost to enter the market, make it more efficient to get claims of interchangeability or to extrapolate across different indications for biosimilars, so that when a biosimilar launches, it can launch with a full suite of indications that the reference product had. That's all going to help facilitate, I think, a more competitive market. But a lot of the challenges were on the reimbursement side, on the coverage side, where it was hard for a biosimilar to enter the market. I think one of the challenges was physician adoption. There was reluctance among physicians to adopt biosimilars. I don't think that was unexpected. If you look back at the early days of Hatch-Waxman, there was a lot of physician reluctance to adopt small molecule generic drugs because of a perception that they weren't the same as the branded drug. And eventually physicians got comfortable with generic drugs and understood that they were just as safe and effective as the branded counterparts. I think we're seeing the same evolution with biosimilars. It's actually happening more quickly with biosimilars. Another impediment is the rebates that exist on the incumbent biologic in some cases create a impediment to the biosimilar launching into the market. One thing we might look at is whether or not there should be rebates allowed on branded biologics once a biosimilar enters the market. So we talked about the doing away with the safe harbor for rebates in the context of all drugs in Medicare Part D. There was a rulemaking process to look at whether or not Medicare should basically eliminate the safe harbor for manufacturers to negotiate these rebate agreements with PBMs. That ultimately didn't go forward, as we saw in the press recently, but one place where we might reconsider reintroducing that concept and doing away with the safe harbor for rebating is in settings of the biologics when a biosimilar enters the market, because you could make an argument that in the setting of a market where there is an incumbent biologic and there's a new biosimilar entrant, the existence of a rebate or the ability to rebate off of the incumbent biologic truly is anti-competitive in that setting. And so we might look at narrowly tailoring that policy just for that specific setting.